from Channel 4 San Diego, this is One-on-One with Jane Mitchell.
The bells never sounded as good as when they tolled for Trevor time as he retires as baseball's all-time saves leader.
Where that places you in baseball history, it's, yet to be determined.
Trevor Hoffman's stats over the course of 18 Major League Baseball seasons are impressive, history-making, and many believe Hall of Fame worthy. Beyond the numbers, it's also how he did it that makes him a point of pride in San Diego and revered as a consummate professional throughout the game.
Struck him out! The Padres have won it as the 1998 National League Western Division champion.
Trevor Hoffman has taken the mound to deliver an adrenaline-laden, entertaining performance with stellar results literally from start to finish, retiring with 601 saves, more than any other in Major League Baseball history. And on August 21st, 2011, he emerges from the bullpen one final time, in dramatic fashion, with his wife Tracy and their three boys, Brody, Quinn, and Wyatt, to an ovation and a ballpark filled with fans, family, and old friends. All there to be part of history as the San Diego Padres bestow upon Trevor Hoffman a team's highest honor.
The retirement of number 51, once again never to be worn by any Padre in future generations.
On that sunny Sunday summer's day, number 51 steps out of his pitching comfort zone and once again delivers with humility and heart.
I'm going to take a little page out of Tony's book, and that's what I'm going to say is thank you, thank you, thank you. This has been an unbelievable day. How do you top all this? This is unbelievable. I mean, a guy's dream come true to have something like this bestowed upon one person. To hear all these wonderful things said about you and talked about, and people come back and see you. It's hard to put this in perspective.
This honor has been earned over time, and this is our time to reflect on his journey from a familiar spot, the Padres clubhouse. What's it feel like to be sitting here at your locker now?
Well, as a non-active player, it's pretty special. Pretty big honor to have your name still on top of a locker in a facility that you're no longer active. So kind of says a lot about what they think of you and how kind of what your impact was here.
A few memories with champagne, a few seasons
it's
with champagne.
It's always nice to have that stale smell of champagne. It's obviously the goal of any team is to be able to spread it around.
Well, I'd like to trigger another memory,
Good.
And we're going to go back to 1998.
The tenacious Trevor Hoffman, the Padres pitcher called in to save the game, is emerging as the best closer in baseball.
There's no better position in this game, I don't think.
Serious, sentimental, with a sense of humor, time with him and his family reveals he's all of the above.
In some respects with Trevor Hoffman, what you see is what you get. But it's what he usually doesn't let you see that helps explain his closer mentality, his makeup, his magnetism, as he's making his mark in the game.
Trevor Hoffman could have inspired the saying, "Never let them see you sweat." With the game on the line, his game face is on. Sober, stoic, even as his adrenaline is pumping.
So high, so high. I mean, your heart's pumping, and you're tight. You're trying to calm down, and you know the lineup. You know the three guys you're gonna face when you go in there. But once I get out to the main mound out there, it's like it's calm. This is where I wanted to be for the last 3 hours.
This is where he's wanted to be his whole life. Trevor William Hoffman was born October 13th.
What's it like to see you back then?
Sad to see my babies still little. They're grown, almost grown teenagers now. Pretty neat stuff. I mean, you kind of have that ability to pull back in time, and not a lot's changed with kind of the thought process on the field, but your world around you is definitely growing up.
The way you describe that day or your thought process then seemed to be how you handled your whole career.
Right. Well, simplicity is a big part. If you have clarity and you have simple things that you kind of can constantly go to, things should work.
Simplicity and consistency have been at the core of his success, including his routine, a visual that's distinctly Trevor Hoffman. On the road or at home, he arrived early to stretch, run, and prepare for the game. By the 5th inning, he headed to the clubhouse, watched the game on TV as he shined his shoes, soaked in the whirlpool, worked with the trainers, then made it out to the bullpen in game face mode, ready to perform.
Trevor time.
Trevor time.
Yeah, you could set your watch by it.
It started as an idea from the Padres marketing department in 1998. Play the AC/DC song Hell's Bells to inspire the crowd as Trevor Hoffman is called in to try to save the game, the bottom of the ninth. Trevor time became ingrained in and celebrated as part of the San Diego Padres vernacular, not because it was catchy, but because of number 51's consistency.
Good night, everybody.
When we sat down with him in 1998,
I feel like a psychiatrist. I'm really scared of my job. And
he had just returned from his first All-Star game appearance.
Pitcher Trevor Hoffman.
there's like 40 million people in there, and so the reality of where you were at really finally hit.
At 31, number 51 was emerging as one of the best in the game. At 38 years old in 2005,
I think we could probably use a different word as emerging, maybe evolved.
Proving resilient, considering a few seasons before, 2002, he was playing through pain, and a simple arthroscopic surgery on his rotator cuff didn't solve the problem by that December.
And that became frustrating, and that became scary, and a part of out of control that I didn't like, because I'm usually always in control of what I want to do.
Spring training 2003, news of Plan B, a more invasive shoulder surgery requiring months of rehab.
Is it hurting?
A little bit, but it's kind of part of the thing you got to go through as well.
Oh.
There's really no guarantees. There's no forecast of where you're going to be at. And a little scary, knowing what guys have gone through in the past and how determined you have to be. And 2 more. The minute I towed the rubber and the bullpen mound, that the folks that are always down in the bullpen in Qualcomm started applauding, and then you kind of heard as like a wave, the whole stadium started clapping and appreciating that I was getting ready to go into a ball game. This was the 7th inning, and I don't even know if we were winning, and that was cool. That kind of, all right, this makes sense, and not that I'm back, but it made all kind of the hard work worth getting to that moment. That okay, now we go to the next level. Let's get back to where I've been before.
Welcome back, Trevor Hoffman. A perfect 7th inning, 1, 2, 3.
Opening a second wave of milestones, May 6th, 2005.
Number 400!
August 24th, 2005.
It's his 425th career save. He takes over second place on the all-time list all by himself.
September 24th, 2006.
Backhanded by the shortstop, Blum got a hurry, got him! Yes! 479!
Trevor Hoffman has become the all-time saves leader in Major League Baseball history, and they're all chasing him. You people deserve to have it. My teammates deserve to be a part of this at home. It's something tremendous for the city of San Diego.
Now retired, he reflects on that moment.
Proud that one league could be here to be a part of that, because there was such a gap from when he established it and when it was being broken. But really, it was so superseded by what our goal was, and that was to get into the postseason. And a few days later, we were able to do that.
Here's Mark Marilla, Brad Osmus, Steve Finley, Dave Roberts, and Mark Loretta.
We definitely walked down memory lane, didn't we? Seeing all my former teammates and stuff coming out. The times that we spent competing inside these lines is something that is sacred. And I took it serious every time we had a chance to come on this field. But inside that clubhouse is just as sacred. And I appreciate the times that you shared with me and the love that you showed me and the emotions that we shared was very impressive, and I appreciate being a part of that. To you fans, wow. You guys have always had my back, and I appreciate every opportunity I had to step on this mound, step at Jack Murphy, Qualcomm, to do my work for you guys. I was wanting to make sure that I did the job that was in front of me to the best of my ability each time I popped out in front of you.
A significant time, June 6th, 2007.
I can see the fastball down the way. Joe West calling strike 3 on Russell Martin. I can see it vividly.
500 saves for Trevor Hoffman.
Another vivid memory, not as positive. Did not.
Excruciating.
Yeah,
it was tough.
The last week of '07, with the Padres on the brink of postseason play for the 3rd season in a row.
It was a challenge to rise again after blowing the save to the Milwaukee Brewers and having Anthony be a part of not being able to see that through, and then not being able to have enough in the tank to make it happen in Colorado. That was, I took a lot of the burden for that. I felt very, very much responsible, as you do as a closer, because the game's in your hands when you get it, to not be able to see it through and be that close to postseason. Still stings, it does.
2008, a tough year for the Padres, but Trevor marched on, his 13th season with at least 30 saves, another Major League Baseball record. Then something many thought unimaginable. His contract negotiations with the Padres broke down.
Would have liked to have finished up here, but I think that the organization needed to move in a different direction. They had an up-and-coming guy in Heath Bell who's established himself as a great closer.
Still, it took him a little time to adjust as he signed with the Milwaukee Brewers.
It was difficult to just change organizations after you've been with one so long. You're going to have and be in a different locker room. You're going to have different places to go. It was a bit scary for that stage of my career, but I wanted to keep playing, and so to do that, it wasn't going to be in a Padre uniform.
2009, another landmark year, extending his record to 14 seasons with at least 30 saves, and he became an all-star for the 7th time. But 2010, at 42, he struggled.
What was that like for you, Trevor? Someone who is so accustomed to performing at such a high level, and the expectation is that you're nearly perfect. Tell us what was happening.
I think sometimes it's hard to compete with the expectation as much as it's hard to compete with the actual player out there. And so I was faced with a new challenge. You know, it wasn't just free and easy and getting people out and moving on to the next day. It was getting beat up a little bit and having to come back and rise above that, and ultimately losing my closer's position. So little knock to the ego, a little your pride gets knocked down.
Especially as he was close to uncharted territory, 600 saves.
I wanted to reach another round number, and selfishly had to go about getting my stuff on track to be able to make something like that happen. But in doing so, it gave me the opportunity to kind of show my teammates that might have been young, that might be in different stages in their career, that now is an opportunity. If I'm going to talk the talk, it's time to walk the walk. And that wouldn't have happened if I'd have quit. If I'd have folded up tent and gone home, then I'd have been frustrated with the way things would have ended. But I think I had an impact on the guys that I played with, that when faced with adversity, you don't run for the hills.
Allowing himself to embrace history.
Swing and a bouncer, shortstop, Council, throws, got him! 600 for Trevor Hoffman, there it is!
As it turned out, we only got one more after that, and that's kind of all she wrote.
So after 2010, did you want to play again? Did you think that you could?
I knew it needed to kind of be a perfect fit, and perfect fit meaning a place that wasn't too far away, a place that I'd be comfortable in, and they in turn wanting my services. And that never really materialized, and so I had to ask myself, are you capable of going out and handling a 162-game season? Are you capable of taking a group of guys and being the closer, the anchor of a bullpen, and helping that team reach the postseason? And unfortunately, those answers were no. I had expectations of what I expected out of my performance, and if it wasn't going to be to the level that we'd all come accustomed to, or what I expected, then it was time to walk away from the game.
Spring training 2011. Trevor Hoffman, retired from playing, is in uniform as a pitching mentor for the Padres.
Did you feel like grabbing a ball
Nope.
and nope?
No.
Really?
No. Very similar to when I made the transition from infielder to pitcher. The writing was on the wall. I'd maxed out what I could do.
An opening day appearance thrills fans who missed seeing him play his last 2 seasons. And amid assisting the front office with the draft, visiting the farm system, and community work, Trevor Hoffman took a long-planned road trip with former teammate and current Padres colleague Brad Osmus and their families.
We'd been talking about it 3 or 4 years. Hey, when we're done playing, we're going to rent Winnebagos and we're going to go across the country. Sure enough, Brad set everything up and off we went, and had a blast. I mean, just the simplicity of it all. A couple pairs of shorts, a couple shirts, and off we went.
But the summer ceremony, with teammates, video tributes, and gifts, is a highlight of a lifetime, where he pays tribute to his foundation, starting with his wife, Tracy.
18 years she plugged away at this game with me, and it was her love of family and faith that kept us together and kept us going strong on the right path.
I told him beforehand, I said, I know where I stand with you. You don't have to tell me anything. And then when he started talking, I thought, okay, hold it together, you know. But it was very flattering. I mean, when he calls you your foundation, and he hit it perfectly when he said about, you know, my faith and the things that are important to me.
You gave me 3 wonderful children, 3 wonderful boys, Brody, Quinn, and Wyatt. If this doesn't touch your heart, I don't know what will, boys. This is something that Daddy, just one person doesn't deserve all this. You guys have had an opportunity to grow up in that clubhouse your whole life.
What have you learned most from your dad?
Think of others instead of yourself.
You know, if somebody's just not doing great and it's not their day, you just have to go the extra mile to cheer them up.
He's a professional
He's
parent.
just a loving dad.
Trevor will add his awards and acknowledgments, including a jersey signed by all his Brewers teammates, to his collection at the Hoffman home we first saw in 2005.
There's been some significant pieces and pieces that kind of paint the picture over time.
Over time,
It's a neat story.
beating the odds from the beginning. At 6 weeks old, Trevor William Hoffman had a defective kidney removed. Small for his age and always the underdog, he strived to be like his 2 older brothers, Greg, who'd become a high school coach and teacher, and Glenn, a major league infielder and coach.
The luckiest kid around to have 2 big brothers paving the way.
Trevor values his parents' influence. His late father, Ed, a Marine, became a singer and married his mother, Mickey, a British ballerina. They raised their 3 boys in Anaheim. Ed, a postal worker, sang the national anthem at Little League and Angels games.
And the things that we stand for come from the things that they taught us. And it gives me great pleasure, Mom, to say I love you and I thank you for the things that you taught us.
He would be proud. He'd look at him in the eye and say, job well done.
You watch a little skinny guy grow into a big, strong man that people admire. And to be honest with you, I'm prouder of him as a person than I ever could be as a ball player.
The Reds drafted him out of the University of Arizona as a shortstop. When he couldn't hit with a wood bat, he became a pitcher. Picked up by Florida, he's part of a controversial trade to San Diego, with a prediction then by right fielder Tony Gwynn.
We didn't just trade Gary Sheffield to get you and not think that you're going to be the closer.
Got him with a changeup. You can't believe the variety of pitches that Trevor Hoffman has come up with.
But I don't think any of us had any idea that Trevor was going to turn out to be the kind of closer that he became.
Trevor has been collecting a ball from every game he's saved, including his final milestones.
Trace let me have this little area,
One
the big
area.
hallway. Go and relive your glory days, Trev. You'll have me back in here, and I'll have Channel 4 Padres going and all the one-on-ones up on the TV one day. And I'll just be back here just pretending I'm still playing.
Does his future include the National Baseball Hall of Fame, where only a handful of closers have been inducted?
I put up the numbers that I put up. Whether they're worthy of the Hall is out of my hands. There's nothing I can do about it now. I've played, and I can't go back and change them. So if the writers feel that that's something that they want to bestow upon me, then that'll be a great honor.
I'll say it. Be the Hall of Fame, without question. Without question.
It's just hard to find in sports where, you know, teammates, opponents, fans, media can all have this mutual respect for this one player.
Trevor did it through his guile, his understanding, and I think his drive.
I might have been here in the 70s, Tony Gwynn in the 80s, but definitely the 90s were dominated by Trevor Hoffman.
There's only a few guys in this game that you put up on a pedestal, and he's definitely one of them.
A lot of things that I learned about how the game works and how you're supposed to conduct yourself as a professional, I learned obviously from my dad, but a lot from Trevor too, watching how he did his thing too.
Stay grounded with the things that are important in your life, the most important things that are going to be there forever, and that's your family and friends and your faith. You know what? You'll be okay.
2 days after the tribute, he soaks in the sun, reflecting on the experience.
It exceeded my wildest of dreams. To be showered with so much adoration and gifts and appreciation.
When I look up there and I see that number, I want you guys to remember that that guy cared about being a teammate and that he understood that to achieve true success, there's no shortcuts. Thank you.
Then, a surreal moment. Newly discovered footage of his late father singing Opening Day 1981 when his brother Glenn made his Major League debut.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light?
Always wanted everyone to kind of hear my dad sing, and to be able to sit back and be proud of what he was about and all the accolades that he had gotten in his life, to be put on that stage without us but know that he was there with us was special, and he nailed it. He always did nail it, but he nailed it for everyone that was in attendance.
It really felt like he was there.
It really did. It really did, and I think all of us on stage were touched by that.
That our flag was still there.
A magical moment on a remarkable journey.
Star-spangled banner, yeah, wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Trevor Hoffman didn't just become the all-time saves leader. We have witnessed his legacy in the making. With one chapter closed and Cooperstown likely ahead, the story of number 51 and Trevor time is something we can all learn from. It's a benchmark for integrity, resilience, and an understanding that to achieve true success, there are no shortcuts. I'm Jane Mitchell. Thank you for watching One on One.